Namaskaram. A very warm welcome to all the viewers to today's session, Manodharma and its importance in stage performances. For this, I have a guest tonight who is world famous and who everybody knows, in fact, as a wonderful artist. She is none other than Kalaimamani Guru Lakshmi Vishwanathan ji. A very warm welcome to Lakshmi ji.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for gracing this occasion. So, a few words about Lakshmi ji. She is the foremost disciple of Kanchipuram Yellappa Pillai. She is also well in Carnatic music. She has learned padams and javalis from the famous T. Mukta. Her dance is often called as visual poetry. She is an author of several books: Bharatanatyam, the Tamil Heritage, Women of Pride, the Devadasi tradition, and the Kapaleswara Temple. She is an author of these books. She has served twice as the Vice President of Music Academy, Chennai. She has been the Artistic Director of Mamalapuram, the first Mamalapuram festival in Tamil Nadu. She has also directed a documentary, Poetry of Dance. She has performed all over the world. She has performed in all the festivals in India and abroad. She has been, she has received several awards, innumerable titles, including the National Sangeet Natak Academy Award. And she is not only a guru, not only a dancer, a photographer, an author, also a painter par excellence. So it's wonderful to have her here. I thought of this title, Manodharma, something we have all heard of, but it's something not so clear. I could think of none other than Lakshmi ji, with her career spanning more than 50 years, with her experience spanning more than 50, 60 years. She is absolutely the correct person to give us some insight into this Manodharma. Thank you so much for being with us, Lakshmi ji.
My pleasure.
So a little bit about an introduction about Manodharma. Now, Manodharma is a term we have often heard to classical music. When you talk about the Kalpana Swaras, the Raga Alapana, the Neravals, etc., that is when we see the artists, the singers' ingenuity, the creativity, the spontaneity which just emerges on the stage. But this is not a term we have listened to or heard of in the with regard to classical dance. So it's not so often, but yes, with the yesteryear dancers, Balamma or Kalanidhi Mami or Lakshmi ji herself or Pandit Kelucharan Mohapatra ji and the President Alamil Valli ji, and when you see dancers perform, there is something exotic. When you come out of the performance, you feel there is something special which has happened, something exotic, so blissful when you come out of the performances, and that is something which has touched your heart. That is when you know that these people have the capacity to have that creativity or spontaneity or oneness with dance on the stage, which touches the heart of the audience. So this is what I have understood as Manodharma, because each time they have performed the same item also, one is able to see a difference from time to time. Each time you see it, And you feel that this time it was different, it was something new. This time it was different, hey, it was something new. So this feeling you have when you see this greatest of artists perform, that is what I understand is what is that creative spark of Manodharma. So I would actually feel she's a better person to tell us about this.
Thank you for your very generous and wonderful introduction, Shashikala.
Thank you, ma'am.
I know you yourself are a mature artist. I've seen your performance and your students performing. And I had the pleasure of being part of your festival, doing a small program, but so well attended and appreciated that I remember it very well.
Thank you so much.
In your beautiful little studio.
Thank you so much.
I was very impressed with the good vibrations I got from your students and your audience, because it shows that you have your niche following in Pune. And that is very heartwarming, because, you know, we go to different parts of the country and we meet gurus, we attend shows and participate. But sometimes it is rather distant. Like when I danced in Khajuraho festival, I didn't know who was in the audience. I only heard their applause. But with your intimate setting, it was very inspiring for me to do, to bring out some of my Manodharma. Now let's talk about Manodharma. You see, this is a very, what shall I say, elusive phrase. Because traditionally, Manodharma was applied as a kind of phrase to describe only music. Because, you know, both in North and South Indian music traditions, the set composition is there. For example, in Carnatic music, we have a set composition, and it comes down from Guru to Shishya. So they must sing it according to the notation and according to the fixed lyrics, where they are allowed to be spontaneous and use their imagination, which is the core of Manodharma, where they can be original. That's another aspect of Manodharma, originality. So this combination of imagination and originality was seen in the alapana of the ragas, both in North and South Indian music. Because the Guru teaches you the framework, within that you improvise. So that improvisation, the skill to impress with your improvisation, is part of the process of Manodharma. And musicians are lucky because they can also improvise when they do the swaras and the neraval. Because that is not set. See, our music, in fact, it's a bit like jazz. They keep on improvising. Even the mridangam goes on improvising. It's not set when they do the Taniyavartam. Now let us come to Bharatanatyam. That is our topic today. I would say that the origin of Manodharma are the gurus themselves.
Right.
See, for example, the Tanjavur quartet, the four brothers, we keep talking about them. Ponnaya, Chinnaya, Shivanandam and Vadivedu. Now, they are masters of Manodharma because they learned classical music from Muthuswami Dikshitar. He was their guru. The Raja at that time, Sarabhoji Raja, sent them to learn under this great doyen of music. So they learned the system so thoroughly. But then they were also Natuanas. So they used their Manodharma to create music for Bharatanatyam. Using those raga which they had learned in huge kritis. You know, Muthuswami Dikshitar has composed in almost every raga imaginable, including Hindustani music ragas, and in Sanskrit. So these brothers, the court language was Telugu, but they were Tamil people. Their mother tongue was Tamil.
Right.
So look at the Manodharma, flowering like a lotus. The raga comes from the guru. The language comes from the court. The imagination comes from their mind. And they bring to Bharatanatyam what is known as the foundation to give it a character.
Right.
What is Bharatanatyam without its music? Tell me.
Right, absolutely.
If you don't have the repertoire of all those composers who were thinking of particular dancers in the palace of Tanjavur, they in fact composed with certain dancers in mind. So they knew how to bring out the best in dance with the music. That is why I always say dance is visual music. That is why gurus always told their students, you must learn music. Unless you feel the music, how can you make it visual?
Right.
So there goes the fundamental quality of the combination of music and dance. Now, next, what do these gurus do? They know the Tala system and they know the Solkattus from their forebears, their father, grandfather, from all of them. They have learned how to bring out nritta verbally. But the verbal nritta is not the same as the verbal mnemonics of mridangam. This is meant for dance.
Right.
If they say tei, you know what is the action. If they say diditei, you know what is the action.
Right.
So they were masters of creating certain basis. But again, the gurus were full of manodharma. No two gurus did the same solukattus and korves. Each one had their own.
Right.
See, when Pandanallur Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai was the great guru, those who learned from him or came under his tutelage felt, I should contribute also. I should use my manodharma, create some more korves. But the basis of it was the Adavu system. That had been worked upon for I don't know how many decades. But once the grammar was established, they could work through it and bring their imagination. But always there was a set of rules. Now we come after Nritta to the Abhinaya part. See, they composed the music. For example, a big Padavarnam. Why do you call it Padavarnam? Because the Tanavarnam was meant only for singing mostly.
Right.
Although some of the gurus also taught Tanavarnams as part of the repertoire of Bharatanatyam. But Padavarnams had a certain lyrical quality.
Right.
So you could use your manodharma to express very simple words. What are the lyrics of any varnam that you know? Tell me. The lyrics are very simple. It is not that tough kind of poetry. It's very simple. There are Telugu phrases, even a Telugu Pandit will tell you, this is very simple. Each line has only about 6 words, maximum 8 words. And if it is in praise of a king or a god, with the theme of Sringara, of course.
Right.
So, when they taught the Kai, the action for the lyrics, the gurus used their manodharma.
Right.
They knew the Hasta Mudras, what stands for what. But for each student, they taught differently. Now, we all know this is why. Why? Yen. Now, each dancer, according to her body and her physique and her stature, could use that mudra, but she has to bring a facial expression which says, why?
True.
So, that is why when we started practicing after the gurus, when we started doing our own, what do you call it, kai, the different hands for the Abhinaya section, say, for example, of a Varnam. Now, I myself, as long as my guru was doing the Natvangam, I would do the basic 4 or 5 variations of that one line. When you say Sami, Sa, Mi, Ne, Ne, Ko, O, Ni, Ra, No. Now, as I developed as a stage artist, see, Manodharma can sometimes come when you're in rehearsal, but sometimes it may not come in your rehearsal at all and come on the stage. Now, that has happened very often to me because I'm that kind of dancer.
Yes.
So, my musicians who work with me, they know that they cannot count Anjitaram or 5 times, 6 times, 8 times.
Right.
They can't. They'll be lost if they do that. They have to watch me.
Mm.
There will be a finality of movement to indicate to them that I'm done. But sometimes they might have to sing one line many times.
Right.
Not 5, not 6, not 8. We always have even numbers.
Mm.
But it can go on. For example, I'll give you a small example of the most well-known Padavarna. Mohamana Enmidu, Bhairavi. You must be knowing it.
Mm.
Thousands of people are analyzing it, shredding it to pieces, literally. But the basic story of that Varnam begins with the Naika addressing the Lord. In this case, it is Tyagaraja of Tiruvarur.
Mm.
And she says, Mohamana en midil ni in the velayil. That's all.
Mm.
So it doesn't even complete the idea.
Mhm.
It is just the beginning of the idea of Sringara. So what do? You have to show that this Naika is a girl and I'm playing that Naika. So I have to show that I'm in love with you at this time, because the next phrase completes your idea.
Right.
How can you turn away from me when I am so much in love with you? So my Guruji had taught me 3 or 4 variations, and those are all very common actions. Mana en meedil nee இந்த வேளையில். Now, you can show the moham in the beginning without even using your hands. That is also part of your manodharma. I think you can see my facial expressions clearly.
Yes. Yes.
So, without using the hastas,
Mhm.
I'm going to use my manodharma right now. So I'm looking at the Lord somewhere there and say, Mana en meedil nee இந்த வேளையில்.
Right.
So you can just use your facial expressions. Then you can show, for example, you know that in Naika Bhava, you have all these variations of themes, the Vibhavas and Anubhavas. So, what is this Velai? What is the time which provokes this Sringara?
Mm.
Now, each dancer can use her imagination to show
True.
that time. See, love is flowering at a particular time.
Mhm.
Now, for this, see, very young dancers have to be taught each kai
Mm.
separately. They'll write it down. First kai, second kai. But once you become a mature artist like yourself, for example, you can show in the Velayil in many ways. So it can be like on the stage, you might show something. In your rehearsal, you can show something else. In the way, in the way, the stars have come to the sky. And this is a moment when my heart is longing for you.
Mm.
So this can be done repeatedly in many variations. The moon. Now I'll tell you, these are all standard analogies. The
Right.
poets have already written it. So it's not as if we are bringing something which nobody else knows. But the Manodharma comes in the way you do it.
Mm.
You see, you can always show the full moon coming down, the moonlight, making you languorous.
Mm.
But I can show my languor in many ways. I
Mhm.
can simply look at the full moon and say, in the way, in the way, in the way, in the way, the moon is playing tricks with my heart.
Yes.
That is what I'm thinking. But if I'm able to share that thinking with you, then I know that my Manodharma is effective.
Yeah.
Then we go on to the next. Shall I go on?
Yes, from what you have told just now, what I understand to sum it up is the Guru plays a very important role in cultivating that Manodharma in the student. I mean, like I learned from Swarna Saraswati Amma, who was from the traditional family of the Udasis. And I remember that when she taught me something, I mean, her expressions were so mesmerizing that you just could not remove your eyes from her. And she would teach me 2-3 hands. I also learned Mohamana from her. Then the next day, if I watched another student being learned, it was a different set of hastas. So, and then another student, another set of hastas. So it would always be different set of hastas would be taught to different students, and we would be very busily writing down the notes and picking up writing down the hastas which were used for this line, etc. Till such time that you absorbed it, imbibed it, internalized it, and felt an ease with which you could start use these hastas for performing that varna, padavarna. So this was the beauty of learning from those great gurus. Abhinaya is not meant to be the structured part of the Bharatanatyam. Normally, these days when it is learned with specific number of repetitions, specific number of ways of portraying the meaning of the lyrics. It's all something fixed. The students learn from the gurus, and that is what they rehearse. That is what they rehearse themselves. That is what they rehearse with their musicians, and that is what is being portrayed on the stage. But actually, if you speak to some of these great gurus, they would always say that Abhinaya is not a structured part of the dance. Abhinaya is to be learned, as she said, and you could bring in many changes with your own thoughts, with your own imagination, etc. So that was the beauty of the Abhinaya. And what I would like to ask, ma'am, is Nritta also, is one able to have this spontaneity for Nritta also on the stage? I think that's a tough thing, right, ma'am? Just a minute, she's having some this thing. Am I clear?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is absolutely right.
Mhm.
That it is the expressional dance, as we call it. You know, when I go abroad, I like to tell them that it is the Abhinaya is the expressional part of our dance. Now, you see, we also have, other than the mood creation, see, we all know about the Navarasas.
Mhm.
And then how do you contextualize each rasa? See, there are songs in which the different rasas come to play.
Mhm.
Now, you need some cross references also.
Right.
That is why I always tell mature dancers, I can't tell the young kids because that may be beyond their comprehension.
Mhm.
But I tell the mature dancers, you should read more of the traditional poetry, the literature, to understand what those poets are thinking.
Right.
And you will find similar ideas when you come to do a padam or a slokam from Ramayana or Kamba Ramayanam. You can immediately something else will come to your mind. And you can use those ideas. Let me give you a small example. I did the Tyagaraja Ramayana. I used all Tyagaraja's songs
Mhm.
and built up the Ramayana through those songs. Now, that was very difficult to do because Tyagaraja doesn't tell big stories of Rama's life. He only mentions incidents in each kriti. So you have to make the singer repeat that phrase many times
Mhm.
so that you weave the story into it.
Right.
Now, for that, I not only had to study the original Valmiki text and Kamban text and sometimes even Tulsidas, because that was a cross reference for me.
Mhm.
And I enjoyed that. For example, there's this song, Nanu Palimpa. Everybody knows that Tyagaraja Kriti in the raga Mohanam, Nanu Palimpa Nadachi Vachiti. The context of that song actually is Tyagaraja saw his brother carrying the portrait of Rama and walking towards him. So he felt as if Rama himself was coming towards him.
Mhm.
Now, I used my Manodharma by looking at this phrase and said, now why don't I use this song for Rama walking into Mithila and Sita looking at him coming towards her?
Mm.
So I had to use the song for a context which everybody knows,
Mhm.
and it was easily understandable to the audience also because you create that scene, as it were, that scene where Sita very innocently is playing with her companions, and she sees this beautiful, handsome young two boys walking towards. So this is where I feel, that knowing other texts and other songs apart from your own dance repertoire is very helpful
Right.
to build up your Manodharma.
Mm.
Because you see, there can be many instances of mood variations which are found in some other text, like you can find something in Kalidasa. For example, in Shakuntalam, you find so much of the Sringara. Now, if you think of those lines of poetry when you're doing a padam, for example, maybe a Kshetraya padam, which says, it's many moons since I saw you. Now, Kalidasa has the same phrases in Sanskrit. Now, this is a Telugu padam, Kshetraya wrote, that Ninnu Jooche Nanu Eidu Nele Laye Muva Gopala Ninnu Jooche Nanu Eidu. So sometimes when I'm doing something like that, I think of the plight of Shakuntala when she is so lost.
Right.
She had a Gandharva wedding. After that, the love of her life disappeared. She had no idea. So, cross references in literature are very useful in Manodharma.
Right.
And what do you call it? The movements of Abhinaya can be your own. We use the hastas and the mudras for everything, but how you contextualize it? There are some which are standard.
Right, right.
See, for example, my heart is, in turmoil.
Yeah.
Many gurus will teach these mudras, but there are also, there is room for imagination where you can show your heart, but you need not even use this. You can just do a small flutter.
True.
Small flutter with your eyes going down in some kind of lajja. So there are variations of actions which you can think about.
Right.
Then also, for example, there is a famous Shankarabharanam padam which I learned from my guru. And in that it's the Vasaka Sajjika. It's a very simple padam and by Muvalur Sabhapataya. Very rare, it's on about Rajagopala. So the Saki is addressing Krishna, Rajagopala. And she says, Dari Ju Chu Chunnadi. She's looking, waiting for you. Now, this look is just not an ordinary look.
Right.
So you have to think, what is that kind of look that you have to show?
Right.
It's a look which has so many variations. It's a look which is looking into the distance. You see, coming, can I hear him? I hope he's coming. I can hear something. I'm looking and I'm standing here for a long time, looking into the distance. I wonder, is he coming now? Will I be fortunate to see him? See, the variations can go on like that.
Right. Beautiful.
So, the Manodharma is from within you.
Mhm.
And the Saki is actually talking here. She says, she, your beloved, is standing at her doorstep, looking eagerly for you to come. So, it's a very simple phrase, but you can show it in 10 different ways.
Right.
And you can add suitable variations.
Right.
The variations have to be suitable
Right.
according to the mood of the song, because sometimes what happens, and I'm amused by that, because this is a Vasaka Sajjika. She's a Naika who's mature, but she's still waiting.
Mhm.
She's anticipating. So that mood of anticipation you
Correct.
can show, like going back and forth.
Mm.
You know, you're anxious. Then suddenly you think, am I dressed correctly? He's coming. I look at the mirror. Maybe, is he coming?
Beautiful.
She's calling her friend and saying, please, is my face all right?
Mm.
So, you see, that kind of anticipation,
Right.
the eagerness to please.
Right.
So,
Right.
all these things, the Saki is telling, look at her, she's full of nervousness,
Mm.
she's looking, and she can't sleep. Now, that's a very common phrase. That Naika can't sleep, she doesn't eat, she doesn't talk to anyone.
Right.
But even showing that
Mm.
can be different with each dancer.
Absolutely.
Because you can suddenly lie flat on the stage and show the sleeping, and you cannot sleep. That is one way. The other is the Saki telling Rajagopala, look at her, her big eyes have become shrunken because she doesn't sleep at all.
Yes. Beautiful. So it is basically.
Look at her. She used to be so beautiful and well endowed,
Mm.
and she doesn't eat.
Mm.
So she's looking very thin.
Mm.
The variations can continue according to your
Yeah.
Manodharma. And
It's basically
sometimes,
bringing out the emotions which are there in the lyrics in a correct way. So there can be so many different ways. You have to think up what can be used to bring out the emotions in the lyrics, right?
yes,
So that's
you
what.
have to work on it.
Yes.
Secondly, some ancient texts have given also
Mhm.
people the idea of how to do the variations.
Mm.
There are some old texts which tell you, like, how are the variations? They suggest, but the text does not dance.
Right.
You have to dance.
Right.
See, you can say, for example, the mood of a Kandita Naika.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you exaggerate, it becomes Raudram.
Mm.
This is a heroine who's in love,
Mm.
but it's a kind of lover's quarrel.
Right.
It's a mock anger. So, like Indendu Vachitira. Indendu Vachitira Alada Illu Iviti Kadu Oho
Beautiful.
Indendu. I know you. You have come with a smile. I'm not the person to be fooled by you. Indendu This is not the right place. I'm sorry. Go. So just standing there, taking me for granted. No, I have my own will. Don't sweet talk to me. She's waiting. The other one. You can go. Please go.
Beautiful.
So these variations you can build up
Right,
your imagination. And
right.
your facial expressions and body language have to go with it.
Hmm. True. So, do you also feel years of experience and mastery over the art gives you this element of spontaneity or ability to bring in variations in the ways of portrayal? How would you say that?
So the variations can be in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Within that mood,
Mm-hmm.
you have to study the mood. For example, if it is completely like Vipralamba Shingara, completely despondent.
Mm-hmm.
Now that has a different set of variations. You cannot really be weeping and smiling at the same time.
Right.
But on the other hand, there are other rasas, like you can build on it with the theme that you choose with the song, like Karuna Rasa. See, people think that you have to show the Karuna Rasa. Of course, you have to. But my job is to evoke the Karuna Rasa in you,
Right.
the audience.
Right.
I have to use my imagination
Mm.
by being a person worthy of your Karuna, of your sympathy. That is why when I did the whole evening of the Nandanar Charitram,
Mm-hmm.
the famous saint who was not allowed to enter the temple and he was obsessed with going and seeing Nataraja and Chidambaram.
Mm-hmm.
Now for 2 hours I had to show his longing. So I had to do different types of
Amazing.
his anguish. It was like, once the Nandi actually miraculously moved. So at that time, the song also helped me, Gopal Krishna Bharati's song. So I jumped with joy like an innocent child and said, "Dear God, thank you. I just got a glimpse of you. I'm lucky." But that was only a glimpse. We had not yet gone to Chidambaram. So Gopal Krishna Bharati's songs give you the scope for Manodharma. And many people in the audience at that time did not know all the songs of Nandanar. Whereas I had researched and picked all the right songs, that when one of the famous songs came up while I was dancing, I could hear the entire auditorium go, shh. They were surprised. And you know which song it was? It's very popular in Carnatic music. எப்போ வருவார் எந்தன் களி தீர எப்போ வருவாரோ எப்போ வருவாரோ எந்தன் களி தீர. So when I did this, in a huge auditorium here in Madras, I could feel the vibration of the people they never expected. So it was a very simple song of Nandanar longing. When am I going to be released? When am I going to have moksha and see you?
Right.
So, Bhakti is a spirit which can be exploited in Manodharma.
Right.
People can be mad with bhakti.
Mm.
People can be melting in bhakti.
Mm.
People can be flooding, tears around them,
Right.
wanting to see Nataraja. So your Manodharma has to keep working in such a way that if you are preparing
Mm.
one dance to perform, that song, the content, and your ideas should haunt you for days together
Mm.
until it comes crystallized
Right.
in your performance.
Mm. Very true. Very true.
So basically, this Manodharma is a combination of intellect
Mhm.
and the heart.
Right.
These two have to come together because that is where the emotion becomes credible.
Mm.
See, people often see some very nice abhinayam and they say, Tamil, that is, you had goosebumps.
Mm. True.
Why? Because your feeling has reached the Rasika. Your
Right.
Manodharma has spoken.
Right.
So it is not an easy thing on the agenda of many dancers. It's not easy,
Yes.
but practice.
Yes.
See, the thing is, you have to become the slave of that dance.
Yes.
Your mind and soul, put it into it.
Yes.
Then, even a very humorous dance, which has a wit or humor. I did a lecture demonstration of wit and humor, and in Singara. So I had to use a lot of my imagination to bring wit and humor, because some people did humor, which was more like a comedy. But wit and humor are more intellectual.
Mm.
It's more clever. So I had to pick certain songs which had a kind of little sarcasm and some witty phrases like that, and some where the Nayika also has to be somewhat clever, crafty.
Mm.
For example, there's this Javali by Swati Tirunal, Itusahasamudu, where she looks at Padmanabha Krishna and says, how can you take so many liberties with me? I'm such a young girl. I don't know anything. You can't take liberties with me in front of everybody. I'm a very young girl. In fact, I've not even seen the face of a man properly. Now, that is so funny. But I had to act as a little girl. And I started the Padam
Mhm.
even before the song started. What I did was for my show in Singapore, I just came center stage and did actions like a little girl, kept looking up, feeling shy, closing my face, looking and saying, no, I don't know anything. So your facial expressions, you should become a little girl.
Correct.
Now, we have seen great artists like Pandit Birju Maharaj, the Makkan Chori. He becomes a little boy, little Krishna, stealing the butter.
Right.
So, you see, you become that person. That is your Manodharma.
Mm.
Now, to cite another example, the first time when I saw Kelu Charan Mahapatra dancing, he was one of the first gurus, because he had himself been a Gotikwa or Mahari, one of the traditional boy dancers. He became a guru and didn't perform, but he would suddenly do lecture demonstrations in the 80s. And the most, what do you call it, sensuous songs are Jayadeva's Ashtapadi. And here was this bald man, not very good looking, chewing pan, wearing a simple Odissi Angavastram. He got up on the stage in Krishna Gana Sabha and he did Kuru Yadunandana. And nobody had seen his dance in Madras. We were all sitting and wondering, what is he going to do? Then he sat down and he was looking at Krishna, calling him and asking him to tie or untie his belt. I don't remember what it was, but it was so fantastic that we kept saying none of his female students could bring that sensuality. But he could, with his bald head and not at all looking like Krishna or any hero or any heroine, but the way he did it, he brought that Sringara with his imagination.
Right. That's what I said. It is when you watch this greatest of great artists, all of you, and you just come out with something amazing that you have watched. You know, you don't normally see that spark in all the performances, but specific people, the greatest of the artists, they have the ability to kindle that in us, to make us feel what is the essence of that song or essence of that lyric, you know. So that's the beauty of it. So that is when I think it becomes that Manodharma. So
absolutely. And also, please don't think that only some people can use Manodharma or originality or imagination. It is there in everybody. It is up to you to think.
Right.
And get into that frame of mind and also become the master of your art.
Right.
Then you can express very freely using your imagination.
Yes.
And sometimes, for example, in my own case, I myself get surprised that I got that idea. Then I think, oh my God, I might forget it. Let me write it down. So my diary is full of my ideas. It's not that I refer to the diary every time I dance, but it is there. So I note it down because that idea comes from somewhere else.
Yes. The sudden flashes, you know.
From some literature or some experience.
Yes.
You know, for example, even fragrance, for example, it's a very common thing in this Vibhava, Anubhava situation of love. So there are so many ways of showing a flower garden full of fragrance, which is provoking that mood of Sringara. So the gurus were not teaching all these details.
Right.
They would just show maybe the fragrance with one jasmine. But a mature artist can show a handful of jasmine, smell it, and feel so happy that you shower yourself with it in that joy of Sringara.
Yeah.
So these are all ideas that people can use in their Abhinaya. And it's not only in the Abhinaya of Padams and Javalis that you can use Manodharma. It's important that you use it in every aspect. See, nowadays in Bharatanatyam, a lot of stories are being told. You know, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all that. So you show actions by the different characters. Even in that, there are subtle variations. Even when Rama looks at Sita, you can show different variations. Even when Sita is looking at Rama, normally we don't associate Sringara with Rama and Sita, but Kshetraya has used that simile where he says, just as Rama felt despondent when Sita was carried away, I feel like that. This is a Nayaka Padam. Rama, Rama, Pranasaki, Nedabasi. Just as Rama felt the separation unbearable. I'm missing you, my dear, sweet young girl. So we have many points of reference.
Yeah.
Manodharma is not it's not a rocket science.
Right.
It is a matter of using your intellect, your
Right.
imagination,
Right.
above all, using your language well. What is dance? It's a language.
Right.
So if you use your language well,
Mhm.
you can make it poetic.
Right. Amazing. And I also feel maybe a good knowledge of the mythology and the Shastras have add or contribute to this aspect of Manodharma, because unless you have those knowledge of what you're portraying, the stories you're portraying, what happened, their emotions. So I think all that contributes, isn't it, to one's portrayal of this? I mean, what? Manoj.
See, for example, if you're choreographing a dance drama or a thematic performance for your students, you're directing them. You have to use your imagination,
Right.
even in the formations, the stagecraft of placing the dancers, the interaction between two characters in the dance. It's always action and reaction.
Right.
So there is a plan, and it's your plan, because you cannot direct a dance drama using anybody else's ideas. It has to be your idea.
Right.
See, there are simple things there which all you have to do is think and use your mind and write down everything.
Right.
See, even a great choreographer like Rukmini Devi, she used to write extensive notes. Her introductions to her Ramayana series are perfect because you know what she's been thinking. Her, since I had been associated with Kalakshetra and my research fellowship, I had to study her notes. And I could see that she was so serious about the subject. She had thought about every situation, how she would like to evolve it. And mind you, that was her Manodharma.
True, true, true.
See, she will tell the dancer what her body language should be.
True.
So when, and she had also her own ideas about, for example, she had written that she herself was very uncomfortable with the idea of Sita going through the fire. So she studied that whole text. She discussed it with many scholars. And then only she choreographed it in a way that made us feel that this was a kind of mystic awakening, the mystic experience for the audience of Sita's trial. So we have people using their Manodharma to reinterpret old stories. And when we had a discussion about the many Ramayanas, one lady very rightly pointed out, she said, Ramayana was written in another yugam. We are in Kali Yugam. If you use these values to evaluate those ideas, it won't work. So there has to be, as Shakespeare said, a willful suspension of disbelief.
Right.
When you read those old stories, you have to use your imagination.
Right, right. So, been a very stimulating session with you, watching you demonstrate and explain what is Manodharma and what are the important things that the dancer should keep in mind, and how mastery, devotion to the art, surrender to the art, how all these things and becoming one with the character of the dance, all these add to developing that manodharma of yours. So thank you so very much, and if we can have one more small demonstration from you before we wind up, that would be fantastic.
What is it? What would you like?
You have been my guru too. I've had the opportunity to learn a couple of javelins from Mav. So I learned Ni Matale Mayanura, so from you, and that single sentence of Ni Matale Mayanura. So watching Ma'am express it in so many different ways is absolutely fantastic. Please, it'll be very nice if you can end it with this.
I don't know which phrase to do. Stuck there. So maybe I should do. Ye me mo bodh chinane marache se ura. Ye me mo bodh chinane marache se ura. Ye me mo You said so many sweet things to me that I forgot myself. I know what you did. You whispered into my ear, and I believed you. You said so many stories that I lost my mind. I believed you. You're very clever. You're very crafty. You said all these things, but none of them were true.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's been very, very interesting. I mean, this I feel is a concept which is not clear to many people. What is Manodharma? How it should be present? What creates that Manodharma in a person? So I think a session with you.
This was completely impromptu. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best to you, and all the best to all the dancers who are enjoying this discussion between you and me.
Yes.
And wish you all the best in your dance activities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.